Hi, my name is Madison Alcock. I am the group leader of Fanshawe College PCI Big Beam team. Our name is Big Beam Team is what we decided. A little bit about me, I'm in my third year of the Civil Engineering Technology program. I love the structural aspect of it, and it motivated me to be a part of this competition. So far we're at the finalization of the design. Went through 12 different designs total. Changing the depth to affect the moment, trying to balancing the shear, compensating whether we use more concrete or stronger rebar. We're using a wide flange T-beam. The strength of concrete we'll be using is 42 MPa, but from past years' experiences, the concrete spins stronger than expected, so we're basing our design off of a 45 MPa concrete.
I didn't realize how many different design iterations we would be able to come up with. We've probably toyed with maybe almost 50 or 70 different designs so far in order to come up with the perfect one. So we're trying to balance out the perfect moment shear and size of the beam just to get it to the exact point to where we want it. And all the while just keeping in mind about cost and efficiency in terms of the design as well. We're close to finalizing a design soon, and once we do that, we have a few more checks to do in terms of a different software that we're using, and hopefully we'll get the design right on soon, and we'll be ready to go for fabrication coming up.
We worked in conjunction with PSI from Windsor, Ontario. They're a prestressed concrete beam manufacturer, and they helped us with our beam design. The first process before the casting even began was to give them an AutoCAD drawing with all the details, with the formwork and the rebar arrangement. We didn't help with the rebar tying as it would take too much time to do that ourselves, so all the formwork, all the rebar was done upon our arrival at PSI. All the dimensions were up to spec, and we then installed rebar chairs along the bottom and the sides of the rebar cage to ensure proper concrete cover. Once the rebar cage was in place, measurements were taken to ensure that concrete cover was at least 30 mils on all of the sides. After all the dimensions for the rebar cage had been checked, the process was ready for the pre-tensioning members to begin to be pushed through the formwork. The team worked together to feed the cables through the openings. Once all 4 of the tension cables had been put into the formwork, the team started to prepare for the tensioning of the cables. Once the concrete truck arrived with the concrete mix in it, some team members began doing concrete tests such as slump and air tests, while the rest of the team members started to pour the concrete and rod it and tamp it in place. We used a mechanical vibrator to ensure a good finish, to ensure that the concrete was well consolidated and that there wouldn't be any honeycombing on the sides. After pouring and rodding and vibrating, our team used steel trowels to produce a beautifully smooth finish on the top surface of the beam. After the casting was complete, the PSI employees tarped the beam and allowed it to cure for 24 hours under the tarp. After 24 hours, the tension members were cut to release the tension and to produce an arc shape of the concrete beam. After the beam had cured for 28 days, the beam was shipped to Western University, where it was to be tested at a later date.
Our beam was tested at Western University in London, Ontario, at the Structures Lab at Western, at an age of 30 days. The beam was tested on June 8th, but unfortunately the machine at Western, the compression testing machine at Western broke just before our beam actually broke. We went back to Western on June 12th to complete our beam breaking. Our beam met the standard for breaking, but it just barely missed the standard for cracking. We predicted our beam to fail at 165.6 kilonewtons. The beam failure occurred as the top concrete chunk crushed and took off The failure of the beam happened at 163.7 kilonewtons. We predicted our beam to crack at 87.2 kilonewtons, and it actually cracked at 88 kilonewtons.
They are some of our very best able students, and they are pretty excited about the competition, and they look very motivated and very ready to win.